Hello, dear students from all over Egypt. Welcome to today's session. With you today, Ms. Wafa Hassoub, and today, inshallah, we will continue explaining your career platform and your ICT book, Programming and Artificial Intelligence. السلام عليكم أولادنا في كل مكان. أهلا بكم مع استكمال الشرح الخاص بمنصة كوري وكمان كتابنا المدرسي البرمجة والذكاء الاصطناعي. Today, inshallah, we will continue or we will start chapter 7, computer configuration. So, computer configuration is about computer totally. So, the 5 major components of a computer. Can you guess what they are? Computers are like magic toy boxes with 5 main parts that work together. So all computers are like boxes in front of you. Well, these boxes are containing of the brain, which thinks for the computer. Okay, it's the CPU, Central Processing Unit. And the thinker is the arithmetic. Okay, it gives logic to the operation. And the rememberer, which is the memory that can store things and can remember things in this box. And of course, we have the teller, which is the input, and the shower, which is the output. So these are the 5 parts or the 5 major parts of a computer: CPU, arithmetic, memory, input, and output. Well, the hardware means the touchable parts, okay? Peripherals or add-ons like mouse. So your computer consists from 2 major parts at the beginning: the hardware and the software. So the hardware parts, these are the touchable parts that you can touch with your own hands. So whatever part in your laptop, in your computer, you can touch, then it's a hardware, okay? And the parts that's connected to the computers, it's the peripherals, which are like mouse, like the printer, like the camera, and so on. For example, your laptop. You type on a keyboard, and a keyboard is an input device. It thinks by the CPU, and it shows pictures, which is the output for you. Okay? Now we will speak about the hardware. Well, devices such as the main computer unit and peripheral device, these are the hardware. Well, what about the peripheral device? What are they? Well, peripheral device, they are devices used by connecting them to a computer. So you use them by, you have to connect them to the computer. Like keyboard, we connect it by a wire. Mouse and a display, a printer, a camera, and so on. The 5 major components of a computer. So a computer is comprised of the following 5 components. So any computer in front of you consists of these 5 major components, which are the control unit, the arithmetic unit, the memory unit, and the input and the output unit. So these are the 5 major components. The control unit and the arithmetic unit together are referred to as the CPU. So, the control unit and the arithmetic unit, they are both, okay, we call them CPU, Central Processing Unit, because it thinks, okay, and gives logic to all your operation. Storage devices are divided into main memory, which temporarily stores programs and data, and secondary memory, which is used for long-term storage. Control unit, well, it's a part of the CPU, meaning boss that tells other parts what to do. So the control unit or it's a part of the CPU. Well, it's like a boss. It's like a boss, or he is moderator who controls the other parts and tell them what they should do, like a teacher directing class. For example, it says add numbers now to arithmetic unit. An arithmetic unit, it's a part of the CPU, meaning math with that adds, subtract, compares, like counting candies, for example, counting numbers, do mathematical things. So this is the arithmetic unit, okay? And as an example, 1, okay, 2 plus 3 equal 5. So who does this mathematics? Well, it's the arithmetic unit. So it does all the math and the subtract, division, addition, sum, whatever, okay? It does it. Well, what about the main memory or the primary memory? Well, the main memory or the short-term brain notepad. Well, it holds stuff while computer works and forgets when off. So this is the main memory or the primary memory. As an example, well, RAM keeps open game levels. And as for the secondary memory or the storage itself, it means long-term memory that can save things or save files, okay, forever. So it's like a box, you keep your toy in it without losing it. As an example, a USB saves photo. So you can save these photos inside it without losing it ever. An example 2, hard disk stores all games. And we know that the hard disk is something that can be used for a long term. Okay, it saves things. You can't load anything inside it. Well, now we're going to speak about the input unit. The input unit. The meaning of input units, which tells the computer what you want to do, like whispering secrets for you. And input unit, we use it to, okay, input things, to put things inside the computer or to give him orders through it. So we use the keyboard to type words to computers or type orders to computers. So this is the use of the input units. For example, like the keyboard types hi, hello, give مثلا, for example, give me the sum of these numbers. Example 2, mouse clicks play button. And now we have the output. So if the input unit gives orders to computers to execute, then the output unit, okay, takes the order from the computer and displays in front of you. So it showed what computer thinks, like a magic screen. For example, display shows cartoon, or a printer makes drawing real. Well, now we are going to speak about roles of the 5 major components of a computer. So, what's the rule for every one or each part of the computer components? Well, be with me and concentrate. Roles of the 5 major components of a computer. We told you that we have 5 major components. And these 5 major components are the control unit and the arithmetic unit. They are both the CPU. After that, we have the storage device. Storage device divided into 2. It's the main memory device, okay, which we call it memory, and secondary memory, which we call it storage. And after that, we have the input device and the output device. So these are the 5 major components. Well, what the rule for every piece of them, or each component of them? Well, the control unit and the arithmetic unit, or the CPU, the role of them is to execute a computer's instructions and issues. Okay? They execute the commands to each function at computers. And an example of major component is the CPU itself, or the central processing unit. Well, what about the storage device? Storage device is used to store things inside. You save things through it. Well, we have the main memory device, which temporarily stores programs data. Temporarily means when you shut your laptop or your computer, it fades, it disappears. Everything inside it, okay, goes away. That's why we call it temporarily. But it doesn't last for long. And an example for it is the main memory, okay? Well, what about the secondary memory storage? Secondary memory storage is for long-term storage of programs and data. So it store it for a long term, long days, okay, or hours, or maybe years. Like what exactly? Like hard disk. You can save your information, your data through the hard disk and keep it for a long time without losing it. An SSD hard, okay, a USB memory. So it's safe as long as you have the memory with you. What about the input device? Well, input device, we use it to input information from external sources. So we want to give instructions, give orders, give things to the computer, like typing words. As an example for the input devices are keyboard, mouse, and scanner. And memorize it for your exam, okay? So it's like keyboard. We enter things through the keyboard. Mouse, we use it to click things to enter, okay? The command itself. And a scanner is also used to input the images through it. Well, what about the output? It outputs information outside of the computer, like the screen, like a printer, like the display. So all of these are output units. And of course, we have some device that's input and output device. Okay, input and output, like camera. We can input our images and we can output from it the images or the pictures or the videos from other people. Okay, so we have some sources that's input and output device at the same time. Okay, now we have here the CPU or the control unit. Okay, so as you can see, the control unit, okay, had this second part, which is the arithmetic unit. So it gives the orders to the arithmetic unit, and they both are the brain for the computer. So whatever orders from the CPU, okay, it's stored through the main memory and the secondary memory. And this information, okay, we can input them inside the computer through the input device. And after it being processed here, we or the computer output it through the output device. So this is the way of your data inside the computer. We have the CPU. When you input an order, okay, when you input an order, this order, okay, stored through the main memory. And the main memory here, okay, maybe you entered some information or some data about numbers, about mathematics. So it goes through the arithmetic unit. And the control unit, okay, thinks about these data and give orders to arithmetic unit, okay, to solve this mathematical problem. And after that, it stores again into the main memory or the secondary memory. As you want to do it, you want to store it to the secondary memory or the main memory, it's up to you. And after that, okay, you can output the information through the output device. Well, now we're going to talk about the interface. It's a component that mediates the exchange of information. It's used for connecting the main computer and the peripheral device. Well, it's some sort of a bridge for information swap between computers and its extras. So, like for example, we told you about the mouse. So the mouse gives we give you here plugs mouse to laptop. So the mouse does what? You give orders to the computers and extract orders from the computer itself. So it's a swap of information between computers and the peripheral units. Another example for the interface, it's like links printers for drawing. Now we are going to speak about the USB. So it's the most widely used interface for computer peripheral device. Nearly everyone had a USB with him. Well, a simple explanation for the USB, it's a super common plug for keyboards, drives, like easy toy connector. And we use it to store information through it or inside it. For example, a USB keyboard to type. A USB stick saves games. And now we have here the HDMI. Well, it's a communication standard that allows videos, audios, and other data to be transmitted through a single cable. So it's a cable that we use it to connect computers with a television, with any other equipment, okay, to allow videos and audios to be transmitted through it. So we can transmit things from a computer to another to a television, or from television to a computer. And it's compatible with digital televisions and audio equipment. Well, a simple explanation is like one wire for TV videos and sound like movie cable. And sometimes we use the HDMI to connect computers with the screens or the active panels at your school. For example, a laptop, okay, we connected by an HDMI to big TV for showing cartoons to children. And another example, we use the HDMI to connect computer to speakers for music. Now we have the Ethernet. Ethernet. So what is the Ethernet? It's a communication standard used in wired LANs at homes, for example, like the office and etc. It's compatible with devices such as hubs and routers. It means a wire for fast home internet like superhighway. Look here, when we plug to the router for online games, it's through the Ethernet. Or office computer shares files. And now, dear citizens, after this explanation, we have some questions for you to review and challenge your mind. So do it with us. Answer the following question. We have a diagram for you. So the following diagram represents the relationship between computer components. Choose the appropriate device name that best fits into the blanks from 1 to 6 from the options A to F and answer using the letters. So the choices here are the input device, the output device, the control unit, the arithmetic unit, the main memory device, and the secondary memory. So here's the diagram. Can you know which one suits the numbers here? Well, first, the first one here is the control unit. And the control unit, we put it here as the first one because the flow of control is directed towards all devices. So it controls or gives orders to all the other devices. That's why it's number one. Well, as for number two, it's the arithmetic unit, okay? Because among the components of the CPU, okay, it's a control unit. Therefore, the arithmetic unit is part from it. And they both work and give orders to computers to execute. As for number three, it's the input device. So it's the stating or the starting point of the data flow. Therefore, the input device is number three. So we use the input device to input information through number four. And number four is the main memory device. So these are secondary memory or secondary storage for information. Once you shut down your computer, you will lose it. And as for number five here, it's the output unit because when we process all the information, okay, we give it to the user through the output device. So it marks the end of the data flow. And finally, we have number six here. It's the secondary memory, okay, which among the storage device, and it's pretty important because it stores the information for a long time. Now we have another question for you. Choose all of the following options from A to H that are output device and answer using the letters. Memory, display, an SSD, a mouse, and keyboard, printer, hard disk, and USB memory. So we want you to choose all, okay, the options that are output device. So which of these are output device? Well, it's the display, the screen, it's output device, and the printer. We print things from the computer, so it's output device. Well, that was the end for today's session. Hope you enjoyed and learned much from us. Thank you, dear students, and see you soon, inshallah. Goodbye.